Hello. If you are watching, say hello. And I'm jumping on a little late here this afternoon. I apologize. How is everyone today? Here was a little practice from our patterns last week. Hey Nancy, how are you? So here's just an example of taking what you're learning and putting it into a pattern, into a design. We have changed our format a little bit. We are doing classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays now at 4 o'clock. I think with everything going on, it's a good idea to kind of step back a little bit. And that's good, Nancy. Well, you know what? We'll get started. If I have time, I wanted to show you something fun with these. So, as always, I have my notes. Zentangling is the art of drawing structured patterns to create beautiful artwork. So I hope you're using these tangles to do something creative. This is supposed to be a therapeutic and relaxing activity, so I hope it is for you. We always start out with a border. So I have my border. If you would like, drop me a line, tell me who's here. If you'd like to use micron pens, you can. They are archival, so they will never discolor like, sorry, I bumped my camera. Like this, you can see something I did a long time ago and how the Sharpie is like kind of coming through their pink. So these micron pens will not do that. So they are good to use for this project. They're not very expensive. I think I picked up a pack of 3, $7 or $8 at a local store. I ordered a great pack from Amazon. I feel like I should get kickbacks from that. No, it's easy to order from Amazon because we're all at home. So on to our first pattern. This one is called, I'm going to say Jetties. So this is just kind of a fun one. I kind of went really big, so I'm going to fill it with some large circles. And I'm using a number 8, which means it has a really thick point. Sometimes they come with a 1, 2. Hey, I got some new faces on today. Hello. Drop me a line. Let me know who's here. So for this pattern, we're just going to fill in with some circles. So do the best you can. If my friend Kelly is on, I'm using my micron pen, so I cannot erase. They tell you do not have to erase. Maybe it'll help you create another pattern. There are no mistakes. But I erase. It happens. So you can make different circles. Oh, I went over a little there. It's all good. So there, you can just fill in with different sizes, you know, whatever you feel comfortable with. And honestly, you can then go in and fill in the gaps with some smaller circles, which we have done before. And that's okay. Maybe I'll throw in a smaller one here. This is really, you know, whatever you feel you want. I'll throw in a couple there. And then we're going to go and add some design to these. I'm going to quit right here with that end of it. So once you have your space filled up, in this case, you know, we're using our border, no strings right now, but we'll do that hopefully if I get a chance. So the next step you can do is we're going to give ourselves a line, and almost like it's curved. Not a full C shape, but you can kind of see it's not perfectly straight either. I'm giving it a little bit of a curve. Now, these can be any way on your circles. I would start with the larger ones first. We can always go do the smaller ones too, if you choose to, especially like this size. You know, maybe. So go through and do this. I kind of keep going the same direction. I'll mix it up a little bit. Maybe we'll go across there. So feel free to rotate as you wish. I appreciate everyone jumping on today. We are offering, you know, virtual classes through SAMA, trying to keep our audiences engaged. We have various classes at SAMA Ligonier, SAMA Altoona, SAMA Bedford. You know, so feel free to jump on and check out what all we're doing. All right, I was just filling in a little bit there. We also have a YouTube channel, SAMA Art Online. If you search for it, we're actually cataloging all of our live classes that we're doing, so you can go and check those out, which is really cool. All right, so our next step, I might have to move here a little bit, check my lighting. We are just going to go and do like a back and forth pattern. I got a little too big there. Across each of our circles. So something like that. I'll do a couple more. I'm going to move my notebook and do it again. Just kind of curving back and forth. And I'll do this one up here. So you could go and fill in all of your circles. Now, I don't believe I'll do them all, but I'll do a couple here, just so you get the effect of it. So look, it's looking really good. And, you know, when it gets to your smaller ones here, it gets a little quicker. This is just supposed to be like a quick and easy process. If your hand hurts, make sure you take breaks. Okay, so the next step, I'll just kind of take a break right there. I did most of them actually. I'll finish that one off. Once you get these patterns in, I'm actually going to switch here quickly. I'm going to go with my number 1 micron pen and just see if I can show you the difference there between the 2 points there. So number 1 is extremely fine. This number 8's been really great, you know, for some of this detail, because with this one you could also go in and add some of these really fine circles to help fill in this space. It works out really well. But why I got this is we're going to add a double line. Not a double line, a line on each side. There we go. Just to give it a little more detail. And that is actually it for this design. It's kind of a fun one. A little bit more of a layout to consider, especially when you're doing all these circles. So you can go and add your lines, and if you do not have micron pens, that is fine. I have been using pencil most of the time. I like to do things in pencil first, and then once I kind of get my design finalized, I like to go in with my micron pen. So, you know, don't hesitate if you're using pencil. I use it all the time. There we have it. So Jetties is a nice, fun little design. Takes a little bit of time. Lots of elements here to do. Well, that one wasn't so perfect. But you could also go, see if I have a pencil here. You can also go in and decide where your light source is coming. So when I like to add my light source in, I like to give myself a space. So if it's coming from the top right, you might give yourself a C shape with your shadow. A little bit darker on the edge, and then it fades out a little bit. And you can take your tortillon, or you can grab a tissue and really roll it and tighten it up. And you can blend it if you like and get rid of those pencil lines. You can also use your finger. When I do that, I tend to get it everywhere, so. But you can also add some shading like that and add a little bit of depth to your tangle. Okay, so I really like how this one looks. That is that for Jetties, and I think what we'll do is we'll move on to the next one. So make sure you're using a good sheet of paper, no scrap paper. We'll tend to throw that away. We won't feel it necessary to keep it. I am using, you know, a sketchbook that I've needed to put to good use for some time. So I'm happy to be able to create a nice journal, Zentangle diary, if you will. You can see all of our past designs here, and I can reference those. And more recently, I've been putting the dates on, so I can kind of keep track of when I did this. So it's a nice way, even if you have a line notebook. Let's do this. My goodness, May 12th. I can't even write today, guys. There we are. So today is May 12th. Happy Mother's Day to any of those mothers that are on watching. I hope you had a nice day. It was a little cold. I think we had snow. We've had a lot of snow lately. I apologize. That's my ringer. That's the first time I've had a call in like 6 weeks during this time. So I'm going to create another border going to go a little smaller on this one. I usually share 3 patterns with you, and that's kind of what I have outlined for today. So we'll see what we can. That's interesting. It's 4:15, so we should have plenty of time. This one is called Sampson. It's an interesting one. So kind of a... We don't have to create a perfect X through our border, but draw an X. Doesn't have to be perfectly even, perfectly symmetrical. And then what I want you to do is we're going to come through and give ourselves about 3, almost like veins on a leaf. So give yourselves 3 sets on each line. Oh, I kind of did that one a little goofy. That's okay. Remember, there are no mistakes. Okay, so that is step 2. And then, this is a weird one. Kind of organic. Lost my train of thought, sorry. It's kind of organic. I was just, these are just shapes that you can really add a little bit. They don't have to be done perfectly. You can add your own flair to it, I guess is what I was trying to say. So our next step, you can start anywhere. I think I'll just start at the top. And kind of give yourself a little pattern around here. So you're almost creating like a leaf-like pattern. And I'll pick up here. Just a little more loose and free-flowing, I think. Maybe that's what I wanted to say. I'm just kind of doing like a little squiggle. Not perfect, but just having a little bit of fun with it. So you could make these lines that we did a little longer if you have a bigger space. And there you have it. That's that design. Now, the other thing that they did show was you could create a little space here. I foresee a lot of fun with this one. So what you can do to fill in some of the negative space is a pattern or design like this. So you're essentially just kind of filling in the gaps there with some parallel lines. So if you'd like to do that, you are welcome to. I'm happy to report that I was at the museum today. And we're making plans to bring your next exhibition to you. So I hope if you are able, you can come visit us when the time is right and we are allowed to open. We're going to be bringing a permanent collection exhibition to you. So this is it for this pattern right here. Hey, I see some new faces on. Welcome, welcome. We are doing some Zentangle patterns, and in hopes that we can help give you a little relaxation in your life. Zentangle is supposed to be known for its relaxing and therapeutic qualities. So I've been showing various patterns for a few weeks now. Our next pattern that we're going to practice If you have a pencil and paper and you're just jumping on, grab a pencil and paper and practice with us. I lost my train of thought again. Nzeppel, I'm going to say. So what we'll do is we're going to draw our border again. Okay. And I'm going to give you guys a sec to catch up. So draw your border and then we're going to fill it in. That was my cue for I needed a drink of iced tea. Maybe Thursday I'll do something a little more adult-like. Still got a lot of work to do after I'm done here. So this pattern, we have seen this shape before. So we're going to give ourselves kind of a curved line. But we've seen this similar pattern before with all of our past, or with some of our past Zentangles that we've learned. So we will do this, and then we're going to come across and go over. And I think I'll just cut down through there here, make it finished. So depending on where you are with your pattern, you can make it work for your space, your shape. My sun is going in, it's getting a little darker. Our next step is what we want to do. Now you can create a line the whole way down if you'd like, if that works for you. We're going to cut all these little guys in half. So you could take one row at a time. And we're going to come across and do the same thing. And again, you could do one diamond at a time, or you could do an entire row at a time. Phew! It's getting a little confusing there. Okay, so our next step, this is kind of fun. We're going to take these. Oh goodness. And we are going to draw a little fun shape like that in each block. I think I'll keep my pen. I was going to switch to a bigger one, but I think this might work. So what we're going to do is we're pretty much going to take these bigger squares. Whoop. Sorry, guys. On my phone. I'm going to outline my one square just so you can see it. We're going to take, whoop, I lost my lid to my pen. And we're going to, now you can see. Goodness. Sorry, guys. Problem with using your phone for work. Stay away from the edges with this one. I mean, you want to be close, and they don't have to be perfect. So we're pretty much just going to go in and fill up all these shapes with a rounder, more. There we go. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go in and erase my line. That was our local library director calling me. I'll have to call her back and apologize. All kinds of excitement today on my phone. Lightened up my lines a little bit when I erased. So I would continue to do this and fill in all these spaces. So that's actually our last design for today. Oops. Make sure to keep rounded edges. I didn't do that there. Here we go. So you can fill in your space. And if you wanted, just like everything else. We could always add a little bit of pencil, charcoal, graphite to it, whatever you want to call, to give it a little depth. So you're basically just creating this kind of fun, interesting pattern. And oops, I see what I did there. Oh well, I'll just finish what I was doing. I wasn't cutting it off. All right. So there you have it. I'm not exactly done yet. So if you wanted to add a little bit of depth to this, you certainly could. I'm moving fairly quickly. You could just do your edges if you'd like. So no matter what your shape is, maybe it's a triangular shape, maybe it's more linear, like a long rectangle, you could add. This will just be the easy way to do it. And then you could take your finger or your tortillon or your tissue. Tissues work good. They're thinner. And I'm just blending out those pencil lines. I'm going to curve those corners a little bit too. But yeah, you could do something like that. Yeah, it's really on what you prefer. I like to refer to my light source a lot. You know, if you're doing anything circular, so you can give yourself the right shadows. But, you know, that's a personal opinion, and you don't have to stick to it if you do not wish to. I have a few minutes if anyone wants to bear with me. I was going to show you how to do like a dewdrop because I thought it was really fun. And we'll use a pattern that we have learned before. This is a great way to enhance some of your tangles. So I'm going to use a pencil, sorry. And I'm going to draw my border. And then I'm just going to give myself kind of a fun line here. Maybe a little curved line there. And I'm going to give myself a circle. Okay. And then I'm going to give myself my pattern. I'm not going to do the one that we just did. I'm going to try and take it easy on us. We're going to do this checkerboard pattern that we have done before. Okay. And I am going to jump back in with my micron pen. So once you get yourself your outline that you want, I'm actually not going to do my circle yet, because I think I'm going to alter those just a hair. But I'm going to outline my circle. You guys will have to bear with me. I might have to run and grab a puppy. He's coming up the steps, I think. For those of you who are new, my dogs like to start interfering about this time because it's getting close to dinner time and their bellies are hungry. So what you can do is we would color in every other, and I'm not going to do this perfectly. I have one dog behind me because he's like keeping an eye on me. So we'll do every other one. Again, I'm not filling these into completion because I'm trying to do this in a few minutes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to bring our line and just curve it a little bit. Okay. Just slightly curved. Because, you know, if you had that dewdrop on there, it would look a little distorted. So I'm going to let that one go. And then if you wanted to add shading, you could certainly do that. But I just thought this was a fun little experiment to show you all. I'll color that one in. So you can kind of see how it varies a little bit. Now you could do this and exaggerate it a little bit more, and that would be okay too. If I did it again, I probably would make these lines a little bit more curved. But that's okay. That's why we practice. So that's kind of it. You know, the other thing, if you wanted, you could give yourself a little bit of shading here and maybe in the circle too. But because of how the blocks that I chose to color, if I did the opposite and just colored this one, you'd see the shading lines a little bit more. So learn from my doing. Plan out your process a little bit, but that's okay. So we'll just give ourselves a little bit of a shadow there. And, you know, maybe I'll give myself a little bit of a shadow here too, because that would cast a little bit of a shadow since we're magnifying. I apologize. I have to shut that off, I guess, when I do these. So this is just a way to, you know, add a little bit of fun to your Zentangles. You know, I chose a pattern that we're familiar with and that we've worked with before, and it's fairly easy to manipulate and change. So there you guys have it. If you want to add a dewdrop into your Zentangle artwork. I did pretty good. I'm almost at 35 minutes. So our classes are usually 30 minutes. Feel free to join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays now for our Zentangle class. And the best thing that you can do is practice the Zentangles that we have learned today and put them all together. I showed this one when we started, but those were 3 that I shared the other day. Love showing examples. Those are 3 that we worked on the other day. Those were 3 that we learned, I think, last week as well. That was an older one, but and these are a combination of some that we learned. So have a little bit of fun and put these together and see what creative, beautiful works of art you come up with. I will catch you all on Thursday at 4 o'clock. Hope to see you and enjoy your day. I'll talk to you soon.